welcome to another video. Thanks for stopping by. I am showing you today some more chipboard cutouts from CRAFTY Divas, and these have been gifted to me, so I am absolutely wrapped with how these turned out. I have to tell you, you've got to stick around for the very end for the close-ups, because these are amazing, absolutely amazing how they turned out. Now, we all know what chipboard is, right? Actually, before I say that, I'm going to let you know, from now until Sunday, so from the 20th of the 8th to the 27th of the 8th, 2023, you can get a 10% discount at CRAFTY Divas by simply using the code word Karen, K-A-R-R-E-N, and you can get a 10% discount off these chipboards. So honestly, check them out, because when you see how this works out in the end, you're going to want to do it for your Christmas layout this year. I can guarantee it. It is so cool. Now, basically all I'm doing here is I'm just using some MARTE gesso, just white, plain white gesso. And here I'm using the DINA Wakely black gesso. Now, there's a reason why I've used white on one and black on one, because with a metallic, if you're putting metallic over the top of black, it just makes it pop. It gives it a different look. I can't even explain it, but it just looks fantastic. So I purchased this black gesso not long ago, and it's great. It's thick. It's fantastic. I absolutely love it. Now, that's the DINA Wakely one. That's the MARTE one. I don't have any other brand of, because I usually use clear gesso on 99% of my layouts. Like, I use clear because I don't want it to change the color that I'm adding on top. But on these trees, I wanted the white base so that the greens were very true, because they were going over a brown chipboard. Okay. Now, I sort of sat there and I pulled out some Christmas papers that I actually purchased. I think I got them last year, and I wanted to use them and I just never got around to it. And they are let me see, I've written it down here somewhere, the Echo Park Christmas Salutations and Home for Christmas CARTA Bella 6x6 papers. I absolutely love this farmhouse Christmas look. It's one of the Christmas looks that we can actually use here in Australia, that it's not necessarily all snowflakes and winter, because here in Australia we have hot summery Christmases. We don't have snow. We have had one or two very rare ones where it's been cooler, but 99% of the time we're at the beach, we are having prawns, we're having barbecues, beer, like that's usually our Christmases. So yeah, so this is where everything starts to transform. Now, watch what size brush I have in my hand. The one I'm using is actually, let me see, I will find the number for you. It is a number 4 brush, and it's quite long. It's actually the MARTE brand. And because they're the brushes that I buy, they're the ones that I use, because they're I don't know, they just seem to hold up. I love them, and they're a really good price point. Now, as you can see, I am just tapping the end of my brush down, and I am tapping the ink in a line. Okay, so I'm just loosely holding it at the other end, and I'm just tapping it down, so it's giving me lines. Now, I'm starting at the bottom of the tree and I'm working my way to the top. What this is doing is adding a variegated pine needles sort of look. You know what I mean? Like a Christmas tree needles. So it's actually, you can see it there, it's coming together. Now, this is still very two-dimensional, okay? So it's just ink on top of gesso on top of chipboard. Now, this is where it comes into its own. This is where I was stoked. So I pulled in, the colours that I've used so far are Rustic Wilderness and Pine Needles. Now, the bright green you can see there is actually Mowed Lawn. there's a reason I pulled in a really bright color, because what I'm using here is the Ranger texture paste. It's transparent matte and it leaves you with a matte finish. And what I've done is I've mixed it with some of the Distress Oxides in the Mowed Lawn and the Rustic Wilderness. What I'm doing is I zoom it in for you. There you go. Sorry, I didn't realize that I wasn't zoomed in already. So I'm just tapping, I'm getting a small amount of the texture paste on my palette knife, and I'm using the little tiny triangle one. It looks kind of like a cementer's trowel. It's a nice triangle head on it, and it's leaving me with these really cool lines, and they're raised up. So not only did I create lines, you can see a little bit of texture with the ink from the brush, but now you can see actual raised lines with the texture paste, and it's giving it that Christmas tree, more of a chunky Christmas tree look. So I've never done this before. I've never tried to do this before. I've never seen this done anywhere before, but it really does give a pine tree sort of look to it, a Christmas tree look. And I did dry it because this is a transparent matte finish. It allows the ink, I don't even know. I don't have the words to explain it. I was so excited when this started to work. Now, I did stop myself because I was going to just keep going at this and building it up and building it up. And I really think you can. If you wanted to make this quite chunky, maybe you wanted to do a scrapbooking layout that you hang on your wall, maybe in a shadow box, something like that, you could very, very easily build this up and build it up. You really, really could. And it would look fantastic. To tell you what this feels like, it is so textural and it is fantastic. I absolutely love it. Now, I've come in with a bit of ground espresso and the same texture paste, and I'm adding a little bit of the brown through the trees so that you get that, like the trunk and the branches. You would see that through the leaves on a tree, right? And I put it on the trunk at the very bottom of the tree, and it looks so cool. It literally looks like bark on a Christmas tree. Now, I pulled out my Lunar paste in Gold Rush. I do have several different golds, but this was the real deep, lush gold that I was going for. I do realize here in a second that I'm slightly out of screen, and I do fix it. I like to put the Lunar paste on the back of my hand when I'm working like this, and that way it keeps the product warm. We're still in winter here in Queensland, but it's really not cold anymore. It's more like spring that you would have everywhere else. So can you see how rich and deep it makes the Lunar paste by going on to a black gesso rather than a white or a clear? So it just gives it that real deep, rich look. You know how there's bright gold, and then there's like gold plating, and then there's you're really rich. You see it in all the Christmas movies at the end of the year where it's that real lush gold. That's what it turned out like, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Now, I did go over it. I did thin coats of the Lunar paste so I could create a little bit of texture with the brush itself, just to add a little bit of extra visual interest. Now, I absolutely love how this turns out. I've been buzzing with this since I created it earlier in the week. So just letting you know. Now I came in, this was the one thing that I wish I had have done differently. I used the Stickles gels. Now, these are Stickles. I used silver, Christmas red, and gold. I did that because I thought the glitter and the shimmer, but the problem is Stickles don't stay in a dome like liquid pearls do. So if I did these trees again, I would use liquid pearls and rather than the Stickles, because it just has no body to it. And to say that I was disappointed with that bit, yes, that was a selection on my part that just, it was a bad choice. What can I say? It was a bad choice. So I even tried variegating the different size baubles, and unfortunately when it dries, it has just gone completely flat. So I have considered, I'm thinking about different ideas that I might be able to go over the top of it with some liquid pearls, or maybe use some flat back pearls. I don't know how well they'd stick though, because I have created quite a bit of texture, so, which was obviously the idea, but yeah, I was very disappointed with these. I'm not a fan of the Stickles. I love the Stickles gels in the little pots that I can paint on or whatever. But these little ones, I'm not a fan of them. Hey, I think I'm spoilt because of the liquid pearls, because they keep their dimension. Even the Nuvo drops, like, they keep their dimension a lot better than the Stickles. That's just me. You do you. If you love Stickles, you go for it. But that is for what I was trying to create and the look I was going for. It fell a bit flat on me. So that was a bit unfortunate. Now, over the top, just to add to the lush of the Merry Christmas just a tiny bit more, what I'm trying to do is show you different ways that you can make your chipboard sing. So many people are put off with chipboard because it's brown. There is so many things you can do with it. There really is. Now, this particular piece of chipboard, I've gone over it with the black gesso. I have then gone over it with the LUNAR paste in Gold Rush. Now I'm going over it with the glossy accents. And I do let this sit overnight so it is completely dry all the way through. So all I'm doing is flooding it. So I'm keeping it within the lines of the cutout, and it just looks amazing. I love it. Now, this is the next morning. I came back to this and I was so excited because I had another idea. Now, I leave this bit in so you can see see how the baubles, see how they look flat. That disappointed me. But anyway, it's okay. We moved on. We get over this and it's fine. I'm sure by Christmas this year, Melissa will have something different in the shop Christmas wise, and I'll be able to revisit my Christmas trees with photos for this year. I was thinking of tinsel. That was not going to work. What I just did then, it was not going to work at all. I have since come up with a different idea for the tinsel, so hopefully I can do some more. Now, what I decided to try and do, the tinsel, I don't know if you have it overseas, but we have it here in Queensland at least. We have it where it's long strips of tinsel and you can basically wrap it around your tree and it falls like a fringe, basically. So that is what I decided to do with my embroidery floss. Now, this is metallic embroidery floss. This didn't take long at all, to be completely honest. I'm just using my art glitter glue to attach these single pieces of embroidery floss. So I separated all 6 strands. I cut them to probably 1.5 centimeters, maybe 3/4 of an inch, something like that in length. And then I just dotted some glue down and I just very gently tapped the tinsel into it. I'm calling it tinsel now. The embroidery floss into it to create those metallic lines and keep all the chunky lines going the same way. That's what I wanted to try and do. And it looks amazing. I absolutely love it. It looks so much like a real Christmas tree. It really, at this point, I was buzzing and I wanted to go live to show you guys how exciting this, how good this is. I know I get super excited, but scrapbooking is my world. I absolutely love everything about it, whether it's dimension, whether it's telling the story, whether it's scrapbooking a day-to-day memory, whatever, everything that embodies scrapbooking is what I love about scrapbooking. I love having the creativity. I love having you guys chime in and maybe take away something from my videos that maybe you might like to use on your videos. And I like being able to break things down into steps so that you can create exactly what I've created. There's nothing, what I'm doing, it's not, I promise you, it's not difficult. It is just follow each step by step, and you too can have a really cool Christmas tree that looks like this. I absolutely love it. It is so cool. Now, I have added all my bits of tinsel. I've done all of that. Now, you may have noticed as I was working on these, I started off, when I put the gesso down, I lifted up the trees, and these are some other bits and pieces from Crafty Divas that I will be using in another video, possibly on Sunday. I'm going to do a bonus video this week, and this is just using up these amazing chipboards that were gifted to me, which is fantastic. I am so happy with these. I love them. Now, this is where I put the LUNAR paste on. I had already used chipboard on these stars. I had used chipboard. They are chipboard. I had already used LUNAR paste, and I made them silver for a previous layout. So I just went over it with the gold. Not a problem. Then I added some glitter to it, and boom, bada bing, it worked beautifully. They're the stars for the top of my trees. Now, this is where I'm using my 6x6 paper pad. The Carta Bella paper pads and the Echo Park, same. They are so... I bought these because they're nice, deep, rich colours. And they're the colours that I love for Christmas. I love having that deep red and that pine green, and yeah, I love that sort of, that's the vibe that I love for Christmas, and which we don't get a lot of here in Queensland because, like I said, it's hot, it's sunny, that's what it is. So I'm using the 6x6 paper pad, and I'm just doing a block. There's nothing, I'm not reinventing the wheel on this one. This one is just a block. Oh, my camera's having issues there. I'm having a block. So one of the layout designs, a go-to, is a block design. It's 4 even squares. We all do it. We all use it somewhere. So that's what I decided to do. I don't know why my camera is going fuzzy there. This may explain why I've been having issues. I've been having issues with loading my videos up to my laptop, so it could be because my camera is struggling to focus. I don't know why it's doing that. I will have to look into that. Now, this is not my trimmer. This is this awful cardstock. I'm actually going to buy some more today because this black cardstock, I'm going to throw it in the bin, honestly. It's actually, no, I won't throw it in the bin. It is, if I cut with scissors, not a problem. It's fine. But any other time I try and cut it in a strip, it just all feathers and peels from the edge, and you don't get a nice neat line. So annoying. When you pay full price for a product, see, it won't even let me cut that bit at all. It's so annoying. Let me know below, what black cardstock do you use? I would love to know, because you know that I do a lot of scrapbooking. Like, I do at least 6 videos a week. Some of those are double pages. Most of those are single pages. I use a lot of cardstock. So I try and keep my expenses down where I can. And black cardstock to me is somewhere I can save money. And white cardstock. But this particular black is terrible. It was... Actually, I think this one is, I don't even know the brand. I'm not even going to stab in the dark at a brand because I'm bagging the product, but it's not great. It's not good at all. So this is what I'm doing. I'm literally just layering up my squares. So I've got really cute squares. I've got them layered up. I could have cut the backs out of them, but when it comes to specialty papers like Christmas paper, I don't normally do that because I have so few photos from like Christmas. I take photos, but on Christmas Day, I'm trying to be in the moment. So I don't take as many photos as you would probably think I would. So I just use them and go from there. And yeah, so I don't worry about gutting the back of them. Now, as you can see, I'm actually putting 2 Christmas trees on here because when this particular Christmas, we were down at my auntie and uncle's place. We used to have, excuse me, we used to have family Christmases down at their place, and it was fantastic and I absolutely loved it. And they had 2 Christmas trees. So I actually thought this was perfectly appropriate to put 2 trees on this layout. Now, I am just doing a little bit of a border strip here with the extra black just to follow it through. See how it sort of, it gives you an extra border on your white piece and it just finishes it off. Otherwise, I felt like it was going to be a little bit just white cardstock. It didn't have any pizzazz about it at all. So that, I think, finishes it off a little bit better. Now I'm going to put my photos down because I've got my Merry Christmas sitting up there. How good does he look? Oh my goodness, it's so gorgeous. You've got to stick around for another few minutes and then see the close-ups at the end. The Merry Christmas looks, it literally looks like it's dripping gold. It is beautiful. And I'm just adding in my photos so they're in position. And this is just my 2 younger children years and years and years and years ago. And I mean, they are now 15 and 12. So, so this was quite a lot of years ago. Now I just added a little bit of brown, just to ground my Christmas trees. I know that sounds weird, but just give it just a little smush onto the bottom of the paper, and it just gives me somewhere to sit my trees. And I absolutely love how that turns out when you use a couple of different browns. It doesn't look like anything right now, but once the trees go down, it just looks cool. I love it. Now, this tree I'm just gluing down solid, and this tree here, I am going to add some foam to the back of it. The reason I'm doing this, for 2 reasons. I'm actually putting this one up on my wall. This one's not going straight into an album. This will go in an album way down the track when I'm sick of looking at it. And I wanted to raise up this tree so there was sort of one in the foreground and one in the background. And by doing this, it sort of gives you the illusion that they're actually different sized trees. So this is a way that you can purchase cut aparts like this. Again, I'll tell you, it's from Crafty Divas, and I'll have their link in the description below. And see how it makes the 2 trees? They don't necessarily look exactly the same size. Now I'm putting my stars on. I was waiting to do that until the trees were actually set. And this is where I'm going to put the Merry Christmas over on the white side. I did consider putting it over the poinsettias, but I decided to go against that. I thought this chipboard, I thought I'd put the date on there, but it didn't look right. It just looked wrong. So I don't normally use chipboard like that very much, that particular sort of chipboard. I much prefer to buy the brown chipboard and make it my own. And that's just one of the things that I like to do. Now, here's a little sneaky trick. See how I've got this bit of twine and it's all curly and I can't get it to do a damn thing? Just wet it. Just wet it. And then dry. It takes 3 seconds to dry, and then boom, bada bing, look, it's straight. You're not sitting there fighting with the curl. So that's just a piece of natural twine, and I wanted to make something behind the Merry Christmas. So I saw these banner pieces on the sticker sheets, and these stickers are super, super sticky. They're Echo Park. I think these, no, Salutations. Yeah, it is Echo Park. The thing is with this particular, I lost my train of thought. With this banner, I wanted them to be sort of all over the place and just give you something in the background on this top corner behind the Merry Christmas. That's what I was after. So I decided to, the twine matched with the brown down the bottom. You've got the green pulling up from the trees in your banner. You've got the red pulling up from the trees. You've got the gold in the Merry Christmas. Can you see how it's going on the diagonal? Yeah. So all I did with the ends of it, I just did like a loop in and tied it just so it looked like, and then just glued it back on, and it made it look like I'd tied it on there, but realistically it's just a strip. So, and it made it pop quite nicely. I was very happy with that. Now the Merry Christmas, I am raising up on some foam because the couple of layers of cardstock on the left hand top corner, it had the chipboard on a funny angle. So I went, you know what? I raised the tree up, so I'm going to raise up the Christmas tree, the Merry Christmas as well. And I love it. There's actually very little about this that I don't love. I love every single thing that I did on this particular layout except for the Stickles glitter. That I wish I had have changed, but I'll make the mistake so you don't make the mistake. How about that? So it's something that I wish I had have done. I wish I had have just done liquid pearls instead, but that's okay. Now, just to break up this white, all I'm doing is I'm using my UNIBALL SIGNO BRORD gold pen, and I'm just doing 2 dots. Just 2 dots. It just adds a little bit of something in the background, but it's not in your face. My journaling I've done in the gold pen as well. It is not in your face because I did it over the brown, but when you're looking at it in real life, you can read it very easily. So I just brought in some liquid pearls in marigold to, I'm pretty sure it was marigold. Yes, it was. To put in the center there, and these are the close-ups, guys. Let me know below what you think. Do you like it? Do you love it? Is there something on this layout that you would consider doing now that you've seen me do it? There's the texture, and you can see the little knots there. They're just little half loop knots, and they worked really well. The Merry Christmas is just dripping gold. It just looks beautiful. And check out these trees up close. Can you see the lines and the texture? Try not to look at the glitter balls. They don't do it for me at all, but that's okay. We live and we learn. Can you see all the texture? It looks awesome. I absolutely love it. So don't forget, if you want to grab yourself some chipboard, if you need to message Melissa, message her. She will get back to you ASAP. If you're after these Christmas trees, simply message her and she will get back to you ASAP. Now, thank you so much for watching. I genuinely appreciate each and every one of you sticking around and seeing how I created this Christmas layout, and I will chat to you again soon. Bye for now, guys.